Greetings, traveler.
Lich King or Vol'jin? Mech makes Vol'jin quite strong. Oh, if you're getting an ad, Yahwehs, there has been a bug recently. I've seen other streamers tag Twitch with this, which is really annoying, of course. It shouldn't be. You should never get ads as a sub. But apparently there's a bug where sometimes it happens. How come it doesn't notify me when you come online? I mean, the obvious one is, did that used to happen? And if not, then do you still have the notification on? If that is the case, then maybe that also is bugged.
Keep it real.
Are elementals the strongest type now? Probably not.
It worked. I mean, it worked. Of course it did. Harder, better, and not at all faster. Worth it. Now back to the good part.
I just don't. I usually do not care for cosmetics, JC. Sometimes I will, right? Like the boom skin. I think it's just like when I just get it and I have it and I start to like it, then sure.
You won. Congratulations to me.
If we go to 3, there's no Rylak, there's no Quillbore. We'll figure it out. I could then roll, just roll. It's probably better. That's a good roll. That's not bad either, but this is quite strong. It's perfect. Alright, there we go. So this helped a lot, just understanding, okay, what could I possibly roll here? You know, like, sure, there's quite a few hits. What happens if I tier? I take a bunch of damage and I die for almost no upside. Okay, let's not tier. Let's not tier. Pink mana, the demon isn't good. Not when you're Vol'jin. I don't have to start with small stats. I can just take big stats from other units. Also, Eternal Knight is very good. So we can turn to 5/5 on the Lullabot and then either equip it here or just have it as a separate unit and then play the Knight. So I think these things happen no matter what. And then is it just do we put it on a pop bot already? I think we do, yeah. And then I can trade this huge minion to a Deflectabot later if I want to. That's also just some experience playing Vol'jin. I'm extremely comfortable on this hero. It's still a really difficult hero and I'll still make tons of mistakes. But this hero is one of the most difficult heroes in the game. So I really love playing this hero. I always say that I'm a Vol'jin main. This is why I'm a little sad that they made him a lot weaker and you can't get Vol'jin offered with Nagas anymore. But I've played tons of games with no Naga Vol'jin, so still decent.
You survived and I have no idea how.
Can't tell how many times you said you love Vol'jin. A lot. I don't think I'm tiering next round, but we'll have to see what the shop looks like.
Wait, what did you do?
The reason why this is a 4-2 is it reapplies the aura immediately. They changed that.
If you perform well,
That's a good player. So. But it's Eudora. Eudora's not strong on this turn. I've never seen you lose with Vol'jin when buddies are out. I do have a really high first place ratio of playing Vol'jin in buddy meta. Because in buddy meta it's so broken, right? If I pick Vol'jin without his buddy, imagine how insane it is with the buddy. Oh my god. He is weaker without the buddy, it's definitely true. Alright, this is a great shot. Probably freeze that. Then again, am I gaining more from swapping in between my knights now? 4/4 on each, I do. I just swap my knights every turn and gain 4/4 on each of them. It's kind of broken. I guess I don't really want anything if it's not uber premium. Yeah. So this turn I don't mind making a magnetic bigger. But now assuming that both my knights are dying every turn, I am going to get the aura buff reapplied immediately.
I hope you win. It would be good for my friends.
I'm getting a gold from my magnetic so I can level, roll, and buy. My positioning is deliberately a little bit weaker, so I have more chance for both my knights to die. And this is why Eternal Knights are so good on Vol'jin. Their aura persists, so you can just milk them for stats. Yeah. So unless I have a minion in the shop that I really need to swap to, I will just switch my knights to gain stats. So level roll is better. This is not that useful then. Yeah, gaining 8/8 is just too good. I have to do this. Whoop. Pretty good. Good, good, good. Yeah, I'll just buy this. That's the cool thing about Vol'jin. You can pivot into anything you want because you can take your big stats and move them elsewhere. So I think I'll take Barnstormer and I might end up in Elementals. I don't know. I'm actually in a position like this because they had the small taunt. I'm going to try to kill their taunt without my knights so my knights don't accidentally survive. They might also be big enough that I don't care. Oh, fort already. Oh, it's Galakron. I thought it was Mutinous. This skin always gets me. I always think it's Mutinous. It just looks like Mutinous. I can't help it. I get it, right? It's like the funny dragon style. But it just feels like a Mutinous to me, not a Galakron. So what you can entertain here is move the knight to the menace, and then put the menace here. The knight is going to gain the 6/6 back. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to keep the taunt over the Barnstormer. That's how little I care. So I'm going to tier. I'm going to want this. I don't see Barnstormer happening, but maybe that's wrong. If I keep it, it's going to allow me to farm stats off elementals. Maybe I should keep the Barnstormer over the taunt. I think I do move this here. This seems better. Because you might run into trouble if you keep swapping the knights where they're not going to die anymore anyway. I'm in a position for combat now because I'd rather be a little bit too strong than too weak. There's quite a high penalty to losing at this stage of the game.
We might do another puzzle.
Yeah. Looks good. They get a lot of horse value, but our Puppot is a monster. And the cool thing is we can just move this Puppot wherever we want later in the game. Probably deflect the bot. It's one of the best targets for a buff, but could also be a Banshee, but eh. Probably want it to be deflect the bot and push into mech. Upstart is good to have on the board because I can let it get the health of the Puppot and then move that to a magnetic later on. I could buy Kangor and play Boombox builds. This is a little optimistic. Let's see. What can I hit if I don't buy this? Yeah, there's actually not that much at play, so I think I'll actually put a Kangor in. Could be a reset for Deflectabot later as well, for if we don't hit boomboxes. I think I'll buy this, and then I can also hit Bran and do Magmalock elemental stuff with Drukhari. Could also make the Magmalock bigger. Swap to a big Wildfire next turn, big Menace. I want big Menace.
The ray of frosting. Hey, even I'm surprised it worked.
I don't think I can play this right now.
good for my friend.
So next turn I can switch my biggest knight to the menace, put the menace on the pup bot. This copies the pup bot. Then the turn after, I move the stats from the upstart to a magnetic. I put the magnetic on the pup bot, and the loop continues. I can keep making a big pup bot, which then gets copied, which then gets bigger. And so that doesn't mean we have to keep throwing it on the pup bot, but we have that as an option to make the upstart bigger and bigger every time. And the cool part is, because we're swapping it off, it's not even that vulnerable to Leroy, because we're just using it for stats. We did lose a knight, so we don't lose all our value here. But yeah, we have a lot of options here. We can even end up with a huge Baron and play Boombox with a very safe Baron. We could end up getting Brand Drakari and play really around this Upbeat and the Magma Locks. We could end up playing a bunch of Deflectabots. We'll see. You could buy the Wildfire for scared, but I'm feeling pretty strong, so I'm not that scared. So I think I will just do this play and roll for good cards. There's no beasts, otherwise we obviously pivot to Leapers, right? Actually, I could Smogger the Magma Lock. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's a good play. Yeah. Found a module, but don't think I'm too interested. There's a couple of cards that are really good for us here. Hello there. If I buy the Smogger, I can double cycle and end on duo. This always goes here. Yeah, Barnstormer is not a vital piece of our composition at all. It's been nice, but Kangor can still allow me to go Boombox or maybe Buster.
Take a deep breath.
You go through your minions faster than I go through my henchmen. And I love it.
I don't really want to put the Kangor down, though, because I might have to sell it then for board space later. Probably going to bump with this, because I don't need it to be next to the thing I'm copying yet. So now this gets 55 health. We can move that 55 health wherever we want.
It would be good for my friend.
I can move the 55 health to the knight, triple the knight. The knight is huge. Then move the knight back to the upstart when it's about to proc. That's getting quite complicated and convoluted, but I don't know if it's bad. I don't think it's bad. Kinda don't hate it. It's a cool play at the very least, so it's worth exploring. I don't know if the game's gonna bug or something. I'm doing a lot of very weird interactions. Sometimes you do something so weird that the stats bug out. With, like sometimes with Blanchy, you've swapped and tripled, and suddenly the stats are no longer good.
Congratulations to me.
So this procs again, right? So this, well, or procs the first time. So 55 health to the knight. The knight is large. This copies the knight to turn after, and then we can move the knight wherever we want to as well. I'm at least interested in that, to see what it does here. I could have maybe moved it to this one. I'm not sure if that one's smaller. We found Rock, Queen, and Stomper. If I had 1 extra gold, I could cycle this. I could pay 3 health for that and tier. I kind of like tiering. I still like this.
Uploading new schematics and boom.
Can bump with this. I'm gonna copy 6 demons. It's probably Orzel, right? Okay. So double rock means I can move stats to a rock and just start selling off cards.
If you perform well,
We could get trumpets and play that. I could get out of Puppot and Knight if I swap them away. Now these guys are large. We killed this tick, that's good. That's a lot of damage gone. We're not gonna die, but we're hurting. That's a proper demon comp. What did they use their Battlecry thing on? It's no longer duo to get the extra princes. They may have had duo, but maybe the thing that discovers demons, right? Pretty nasty board. This could be trouble.
take heart. Science
Alright, so every elemental is +2 attack, +2 health. We can swap the knight on top of the rock. And then no longer use the knight. We'll see. These are nice. A big cleave is also great. The duo cannot stay no matter what. I'm probably going to make a big cleave. $30.33. I'm probably still selling that.
Safety restrictions offline.
Yeah.
Harvesting servos engaged.
The next turn make big rocks. It's a bit scary, but we're gaining a lot here.
Primed and ready.
Utility drone to end on. 1, 2, 3, 4 magnetics on this. Oh, ending on Cinderia is better. I'm gonna sell my Kangaroo. We are no longer interested in the boombox play.
Steady hand.
Oh, I should charge extra for that one. Everything goes according to my plan.
It's a fun comp. Might not be able to keep up with all the shenanigans that are out there, but it's a fun comp. And then we found a Fell Reaper, which is obviously a really good card for Vol'jin. As you can see, we made it huge in one turn. It's just one of Vol'jin's favorite minions. Not interested you to decide. Well, I'm heavily incentivized to stay in the elemental direction here because I have 2 rocks. We're getting +2 attack and +2 health to 6 of our 7 minions per elemental played. And when you can move stats around at will, that's obviously good. Because we never really waste stats. Whenever we have something that's buffed we want to sell, we can move it first. You waste some stats, but it's not bad. Alright, so we have 104 health here that we can move to a magnetic. And then that magnetic could go on top of the Reaper, and then you have a Reaper with 200 health. That's not to say we're going to do that, but it's definitely an option. Trying to get Elemental here, didn't find it. That is a double-edged sword, because you are now putting Taunt on your cleave. But it is a magnetic.
Hey, I said no refund.
I will probably have to take it.
You can't go wrong with that one.
I'll take elementals over anything.
I'll do what this little guy. Sure. The customer's always right.
We can end on a poison here. We don't want to hold these. We want our money next turn, right?
Gold in my teeth, gold in my hat.
Move the Upstart to the module, put the module on the foe, and on the Plague, and maybe hold this because it is getting wasted here. And I'll have the gold next turn anyway. Next turn this will copy the Fell Reaper, so then we'll go back to 200 health. It's pretty silly. I've never really thought of this before, but now that I see it as Vol'jin, I think elemental lobbies with Vol'jin are going to be very cool. Because you don't even need it to be golden, right? Look at this. It's pretty silly. Alright. Mech. Where do we want our shits? Now, the upside of mech is that they're probably not running a Leroy 7 mech. So. I think I'll put this pretty far back because I think we're trying to catch a Deflectabot with this. And then if we're too weak, we could sell this next turn. We don't have to wait. Problem is it doesn't have any attack now. Well, that's okay. You have a 95, 216 Fell Reaper. Right, so, like, that's okay. If you're, if you're only adding 200 health, that's okay. For a 0 gold hero power, that is. The problem is, when they Leroy the thing you just gave 200 health, that wasn't very useful. So, It's definitely not an issue to have the plus 200 health moving around. Well, 100 health now, 200 health the turn after, 400 health the turn after, you know, the 2 turns after that. I like it, man. It's an interesting way to play Vol'jin now that you can't play him with Nagas. Upbeat Upstart. Looks fun. Yeah, if they don't have poison, it's pretty beautiful. This Furry just does not give a shit. Just tanked so many hits of these deflective bots. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so yeah, given that this might be the finals already, we might not keep that upbeat around anymore. If we kept the Eternal Knight over Magma Lock, we could be getting 30 extra attack. You mean if we were to swap the Eternal Knight to the upbeat every other turn? Or what am I hearing? Could also give the 79 damage here, or maybe even get out of Magma Lock. That's maybe better. I like this more. I was thinking about keeping Magma, but it's probably too greedy.
Hire some new guys. Just don't tell them what happened to the last batch. Spend some gold while you can. It's good for my business. Gold in my hat.
Drukhari won't have any impact here. All right. Let's see what we got.
I hope you win. It would be good for my franchise.
Big ol' 50-50. Ah, yes, of course. Face first into the Leroy. My favorite cleave. They're bigger than us, though. Good game. Fun Vol'jin game. Fun Vol'jin game. Really fun Vol'jin game. Yeah, it's my favorite hero. It's not even close, actually. It's probably not the strongest hero in this meta. I think Vol'jin was legit my strongest hero in the previous meta. Even though that doesn't really make sense given how good scabs and tests were and all that, but if you really like playing something and you're good at it, you can overcome the stats, I guess.